I don't think there's a single person in the world who could hate Bluey.
We saved the wedding!
Kids and adults alike adore this incredible show for its fun and meaningful episodes. But do you really know all the amazing facts about this hit program?
Probably.
Let's start with something cool that says a lot about Bluey. The creator of the show, Joe Brumm, is an Australian animator who spent 10 years in England working as a cartoonist for several successful kids shows. Among them, the one that had the greatest impact on his career was Peppa Pig. Interestingly enough, the world-famous piglet served as the main inspiration for Joe Brumm in creating Bluey. His goal was to craft an Australian version of Peppa Pig, which is why the two shows share so many similarities, such as the characters' ages and family dynamics. But I think we can all agree that Joe Brumm not only achieved his goal, but went above and beyond, right? That was just a warm-up. Ready to discover 25 amazing facts nobody knew about Bluey? So let's dive in. This is another Cinewave feature. The long dogs are the most famous Easter eggs in the show, and you won't find them in any other cartoon. Have you ever wondered why they exist? The answer is funnier than you might think. They weren't originally created for fans to find. In fact, long dogs started as an inside joke among the animators to see if other members of the production team could spot them. Over time, the joke grew so big, it became one of the show's trademarks. Hopefully, the animator behind this idea got a raise. Speaking of long dogs, it's very likely the term was inspired by long cat, the iconic image of a comically elongated cat. This is one of the internet's most classic memes. Since the world of Bluey revolves around dogs, long cat naturally became long dog. Did you know that most of the character names in Bluey have hidden meanings you'll only notice if you think twice? Bluey's name is the easiest to understand. It directly refers to her blue coat. Brandy's name follows a similar logic, though it's a bit trickier to figure out. Her name references the alcoholic beverage brandy because its color closely matches her fur. Chili's name also ties to her color, as chili refers to a type of red pepper, which resembles the reddish tone of Bluey and Bingo's mom's fur. Meanwhile, Bandit's name is inspired by something more specific, unrelated to his color. Look closely at his face. The dark patch around his eyes resembles a bandit's mask, which is where his name comes from. Just like Chili and her sister have names related to their fur color, Stripe, like his brother, has a name linked to a specific feature of his body. While Bandit's name refers to his mask, Stripe's name comes from the large stripe running down his belly. Bluey is one of the most family-focused shows, with episodes almost always centered around the Heeler family. But did you know that the show itself is a family affair? Joe Brumm works on the series alongside several relatives. One of Joe's brothers, Dan Brumm, is the sound director for the show, and he also voices Stripe. Nana, Bandit and Stripe's mom, is voiced by none other than Chris Brumm, Joe and Dan's mother. And let's not forget Joe's wife, Susie Brumm, who works as a storyboard artist for the show and voices Pom Pom's mom. The reason Dan's brother voices Stripe and their mom voices Nana is no coincidence. Bandit is inspired by Joe Brumm himself, so Bandit's brothers, Stripe and Radley, are based on Joe's siblings. Likewise, Nana is modeled after their real-life mother. And since we're talking about family, leave a comment below with #Heeler to celebrate Bluey's amazing family. Believe it or not, these aren't the only characters based on Joe Brumm and his brothers. In fact, the terriers were also created to represent them. However, in this case, they symbolize the brothers during their mischievous childhood days. Bluey is an Australian show, and of course it takes place in Australia. But that hasn't stopped characters from other countries from making appearances in the series. For example, the terriers and their mother are Scottish, Wendy and her daughter Judo are from England, and Bluey's best friend Mackenzie is from New Zealand. We also can't forget Jean-Luc, who is Canadian. Unlike the others, Jean-Luc doesn't actually live in Australia, he was only there for a vacation. That's why he only speaks French, one of the official languages of Canada. In fact, this makes Jean-Luc the only character in the series who speaks a different language. Unlike shows like Peppa Pig, which features characters from a variety of animal species, Bluey only has canine characters, but a wide variety of them. To date, the series has introduced about 66 different dog breeds. Nearly every popular breed in the world has been featured, along with many we've rarely, if ever, seen in real life. Bluey has a memorable design, but surprisingly, she looks a lot like Rusty. This similarity exists because Rusty, the cricket-loving red dog, was originally meant to be the main character of the series. Plans changed though, and poor Rusty got demoted. It's funny to imagine an alternate universe where he ended up as the show's lead character. Speaking of Rusty, his resemblance to Bluey caused some confusion. At one point, the official Bluey website claimed that the two were cousins, though that information has since been corrected. Was it just a mistake by an intern, or were there once actual plans for Bluey and Rusty to be related? We may never know, but it would explain their uncanny similarity. Do you think Bluey is a Disney show? If so, you're mistaken. Disney only distributes the already completed episodes worldwide. The series is actually developed by an Australian Australian company called Ludo Studios. That said, Disney is responsible for Bluey's massive success. Before the company took over distribution, Bluey was only famous in Australia. Can you imagine if Ludo Studios had never partnered with Disney? We might never have discovered this incredible show. Because Disney is responsible for distributing this amazing show outside of Australia, they hold some control over the content and have even censored certain episodes they deemed inappropriate for children. The most extreme case was the complete ban of the episode Dad Baby on Disney+. In this story, Bandit pretends to be pregnant during a game. While the exact reason for the ban was never explained, many speculate Disney found it too inappropriate for children and feared it would upset parents. However, the episode is available on YouTube and is actually pretty harmless, and even adorable. It seems no parents have ever complained about it. Maybe Disney overreacted this time. Since the show doesn't focus much on Bluey's parents' personal lives, many fans don't know what they do for work. If you're one of them, here's the scoop. Bandit works as an archaeologist. That's why his office is filled with ancient artifacts, items from other countries, and bones. Chili, on the other hand, works as a part-time airport security officer. She likely works part-time to spend more time with her daughters and manage the household. These fun facts are amazing, aren't they? If you'd like to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button to get updates on Bluey and many other sensational cartoons.
Thank you.
There's actually a clever connection between Bandit and Chili's jobs. They tie into two things that dogs love to do. Bandit is an archaeologist because many dogs love to dig, just like archaeologists do during field missions. We know Bandit takes this seriously because in some episodes, he has to leave home for a few days to work. Chili, on the other hand, works as a security officer because dogs love to sniff things out, especially her breed, the Red Heeler, which is known as a scent tracking dog. Speaking of Bandit's job, it's also a sweet nod to one of Joe Brum's brothers, Adam Brum, who is a well-known archaeologist. Before Bluey became the blue pup we all love, there were a few changes during development. Initially, Bluey was going to be a Kelpie because Joe Brum had a Kelpie when he was younger. In the end, he decided to make her a blue heeler, thinking a blue-colored dog would stand out more. Plus, Joe once owned a blue heeler named Bluey, which surely influenced his decision. One of Bluey's likely inspirations was another iconic blue pup, Blue, without the Y. Blue starred in the children's show Blue's Clues. While the show has a modern version now, the original aired in 1996, back when Joe Brum was a teenager. That said, the two shows are very different, so it's not a case of plagiarism, just a fun coincidence. Bluey often tackles deeper topics and places a strong focus on diversity. For instance, Jack Russell has ADHD, which makes it hard for him to sit still or concentrate. So far, Jack is the only neurodivergent character in the show. However, many fans believe that Socks may have autism or something similar, as she behaves like a typical dog for much of the series, something the other baby characters don't do. The show also features a deaf character, Dougie, who appears in the episode Turtle Boy. He's learning Australian Sign Language to communicate better. We've already talked about how Disney helped make Bluey a global success, and it seems Ludo Studios is very grateful for that. They even included a subtle homage to Disney on Bluey herself. On Bluey's back, there are 3 spots that form the shape of Mickey Mouse's head. We've left 2 incredibly fun videos on your screen. Pick one to keep the fun going non-stop. Thanks for watching, and see you next time!